Welcome back to the 7th IESF World Championships in beautiful downtown Gangnam in Seoul, South Korea. I'm Artosis, joined by State, and it is time for some StarCraft 2.
And we have a PvP match coming up, Haas versus Mystery. I'm really excited about this match. Haas, really aggressive, really refined builds. Awesome Protoss player to watch, and Mystery, kind of a wild card coming in.
Yeah, our Chinese player Mystery, he's had a pretty good run of things over in China. Of course, the Chinese players, we don't get to see travel quite as much as the other players, but there is a strong scene there. This guy is definitely a strong player, and I think that this is going to be a great match.
Especially considering these two players, both from the Chinese region, definitely going to know each other's style, I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely.
And Haas, he's so decisively aggressive that you have to imagine, like, what is Mystery going to be thinking going into this match? How is he going to play? What's he going to do? What's his game plan?
Well, I mean, it's PvP, so I'm going to guess disruptors.
Disruptors.
I think so, right?
Probably a really good guess.
If it gets that late into the game, of course, but as you said, you know, Haas is a very aggressive player. There is some crazy possibilities going on. As you see, this is our top 4 right now. It's Haas versus Mysteries for a spot in that final, and then Seoul versus Ender, our two Zerg players. Ender kind of making some upsets on his way through this tournament. Also a very cheesy, aggressive player.
Yeah, taking out Niden in the top 8.
Yeah, that's right. In Niden, I mean, this guy is like an institution in StarCraft 2. He's been around forever, so that's a strong, strong victory. But he's going up against Seoul right now. That's being played off stream at the moment. And later on, we'll have the third place match for you guys here today.
Yeah, so we'll have a PvP between Haas and Mystery, and then a third place match either between the Haas and Mystery and Seoul or Ender, which should be another really good match.
Yeah, absolutely.
All top 4 players are all very good. Should be lots of really entertaining games.
And we have Protoss players left in every match that we're going to cast, which is really fun for you and I, being Protoss players ourselves. But as you see here, the map pool going to be Dusk Towers, Prion Terraces, and Arena. I thought it was supposed to be Rune of Ceres for set 2, so we'll just make sure about that as we go into set 2. But what do you think about this map pool, and especially Arena as map number 3?
Dusk Tower, it's a very straightforward map. It's a good macro map. Typically, the game's going to get to the third phases. There might be some kind of early aggression that'll just end the game straight away, but usually doesn't come to that. Prion Terraces, if we do play on that gold-based map, it's a really big deal in matchups like PvZ, where the Zerg player can get the base really aggressively, but in PvP, it's a little bit less of a factor having that gold. And then Arena, specifically, PvP becomes less Protoss versus Protoss, more Pylon versus Pylon frequently enough, because the air distance between both main bases are so close. The mothership core can get across the map so quickly, it's so difficult to defend Pylon overcharge.
Which really harkens back to early Wings of Liberty, where Warp Gate took like 20 seconds, and it would just be pylons in each other's bases, and then Zealots being warped in. And that was literally the entire PvP matchup until they patched Warp Gate speed. So
yeah, if we get to map 3 on Arena, anything goes. Yeah. Anything can happen on that map.
I'm excited about that one, because especially with Haas, I would imagine he's going to send pylons over. Like,
lots and lots of pylons.
He must. He's Haas. This is the way the guy plays. So I guess we'll see. I hope that it gets to that third match. I'd love to see, because you've been talking to me a lot about those crazy Arena games, so I'd love to see it here. But do you have a favorite going into this?
Honestly, I feel like Haas is probably the clear favorite in my opinion. His aggressive style is really, really good for PvP. There are a lot of openings that you can do with either Depths or Oracles in the early game, and even Blinkstalker Disruptor on maps like Dusk Towers. There's a lot of good places to go into the third base. There's the area in the back, and there are just so many openings that you can create if you have that kind of aggressive potential and you're really good with your control, which I feel Haas excels at.
Well, that's definitely who he is, but as we get into those later games, we're going to have to see, can Haas keep it up when it becomes that really difficult to control Blinkstalker, Disruptor, Ball of Doom. I don't even want to call it Death Ball. It's really weird. It's a weird dance right now that we're seeing in a lot of high-end PvPs, but if we do get towards the late game, what other types of compositions can we see in PvP?
Well, typically, if you're not going to go for the Blinkstalker Disruptor, you're going to want to hit a timing before the opponent has a critical mass of disruptors. So there are a variety of ways people can go for that. They can either open Phoenix and then go into something like Charge Law Archon Immortal and go for a big counter push at the opponent's third base before disruptors get out. If it's just 1 or 2, it's manageable. You can dodge some of the shots. But you really want to hit the critical timing before they get up to more bases. But I'm imagining if the game goes super late, we're talking like 4 or 5 bases, we're going to see 2 Robo, maybe even 3 Robo Disruptor.
That is going to be absolute madness. Definitely a very tough matchup right now to control, very unforgiving, as those Disruptor shots are just insane and don't require upgrades. So PvP has kind of been turned on its head in Legacy of the Void, so looking forward to see what these guys pull out.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I think we noticed this trend, Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty, and we're seeing it again in Legacy of the Void, where PvP in the very beginning of a new expansion, there are so many changes, and it's naturally such an aggressive matchup just because of the way the units work and how micro-intensive they are, specifically because you have such low unit counts. And so I'm guessing we're probably going to keep seeing really aggressive play like this, but probably things will settle down in a little while, but at least for now, it's so unforgiving.
Yes.
It's so unforgiving.
All the PvP, I mean, I was even watching your stream the other day, and it was just like disruptor balls going in and out nonstop and like blinking out of the way of them. It's a pretty crazy matchup at the moment, but hopefully we'll get into this pretty quickly. We already have Mystery in the game ready to go, just waiting on Haas to get in there. But while we wait for this, guys, please get out there and get on your social media. Let people know that IESF is going on. This is the second to last day. We're going to have this round of 4 match, and then a little bit later on, I think we have some Hearthstone between, but we'll be casting again with that 3rd place match. So definitely some cool StarCraft going on, and this is still very early in Legacy of the Void, so every single tournament you're going to be able to learn a lot out of.
Especially it being so early in Legacy of the Void, every player kind of has their own unique playstyle. There's no completely defined meta. There are trends, but there's no standard opening for the most part. So I'm really interested in seeing specifically how Haas and Mystery are going to differ in their early and mid-game builds.
Yeah. I want to see, like, you know, as far as the openings go, do you think that people are going to prefer to open with Blink? Are Oracle openings going to be very popular in this matchup? Like, what are you looking forward to?
Well, on the Asian server currently, at least the matches that I'm playing, Blink opening is by far the most common. Classic, for example, on the ladder goes for a lot of Phoenix play, but besides him, almost everybody's opening Blink, because if your opponent goes for a Sky Toss, it's so hard to push them if they have Photon Overcharge that you really want to break them with some kind of Blink Stalker timing. And so just in that sense, it's really good. And then Blink Stalkers have synergy with arguably the best unit in PvP currently, the Disruptor.
Yeah.
And so probably going to see a lot of Blink play, but Oracles and Adept Harass are definitely a really critical part of the early game.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what these guys do want to go for. Any ideas if we'll see any Proxy Gate play? I've seen a few people try this, like Parting picked up a game over Showtime at DreamHack, but it seems really hard to break people with Proxy Gate Zealots now.
Yeah, especially if it gets scouted, but the meta, it's kind of hard to say the meta because it's such a new game, but it's really common for players to be opening Nexus first in PvP just because of how quickly you can get your gateways up. And the timings actually work out that if you go for Nexus first and your opponent goes for like Gateway, Gas, Nexus, and Core, the Nexus first player is going to have their second gas before the player that's going Gate Expand. And so like you tech so quickly that it's really common that you're going to have, even with a Nexus first, the potential to do a lot of aggressive openings. And so because Nexus first is so good, if it goes unscouted, like a triple gate proxy can definitely just completely catch you off guard because you're not going to have the units necessary to defend it unless you scout it in time. So I feel like at least until things settle down and builds get a little bit more refined, people get better with their scouting patterns, that's definitely the kind of thing that we could see in this matchup take 1, maybe even 2 games if someone's playing especially cheeky.
All right, well, I mean, Haas could be our man for that for sure. This guy is known for being so aggressive. I've seen this guy do the craziest things, like 7 pylon cannon rushes to wall off entire bases.
I remember that. I remember that game.
That was a crazy game.
Jaedong on what map was that in WCS?
It was
a snow map.
Yeah, the station, King Sejong Station.
Was it King Sejong Station?
I believe it was that map.
Maybe. The name eludes me. That was so long ago.
If I recall correctly. But anyways, a lot of crazy games have been had by Haas.
Oh,
and
yes, definitely.
As you see, here he is, guys. A very aggressive Protoss player, as we've been saying. It's going to be a lot of fun, man, seeing how he does this.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of early game aggression coming out of Haas in terms of either Adept Harassment or Oracle play. But even something like, because as I was saying before, Blink Stalker openings are so popular, we might even see some Dark Templar coming up from him.
Oh, yeah. Would be really cool to see. Here's Mystery over on the other side for our Chinese team. And of course, both these teams want to get as deep as they can into this tournament. This tournament's about a lot more than money. It's about your national pride, doing well for your country. All these guys have multiple other team members down here with them, watching, supporting their play.
And the winner of this match will be going to the grand finals tomorrow, so there is a lot on the line.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. And Korea's already out of the tournament, which is, you know, like last year, ISF, Korea won. It was Zest who ended up winning in that final match. So definitely something that is pretty cool is we are going to have a non-Korean StarCraft champion here at IESF.
A lot of upsets.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, it is time to get started in this game number 1. It is going to be Dusk Towers. You see both players are really focused here, wanting to take down their opponents. PvP, a very unforgiving matchup currently. Now I guess you guys know what channel that you can go into, so that's cool. I always love when that happens. All right, and here we go. All right, in the top left, our red Protoss from Taiwan, it is Haas.
Some Haas fans in the audience.
Indeed.
Looking very focused.
And his opponent in the bottom left, our blue Protoss, it is Mystery.
And we're already seeing these two players deviate, which is a little bit interesting to me. Haas going for a pylon near his ramp, possibly going Nexus first, might using that for a wall off. Even if he's not going Nexus first, walling off in PvP is so useful, especially on these maps with the in-base natural expansion, because, ooh, that's a pretty fast gateway. So it looks like we might have not a Nexus first opening out of that Mystery.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how they want to go with these builds, but I like the wall-in. I'm kind of surprised Mystery chose to absolutely not wall-in in any ways, because I've seen a lot of PvPs where that wall-in, you just keep a probe kind of near it so that you can block those adepts if you have your units out on the map. And otherwise, the adepts can just come right in and get a lot of scouting done and maybe even kill a few probes.
Yeah, and both players actually going for a gateway first, and Mystery opening 2 gas and setting up a really fast proxy pylon.
Yeah, indeed. That is quite quick there by Haas. And what will he be proxying? Will this be a quick Stargate?
I would expect it to be a Stargate. It could be a Warp Prism for a Warp Gate, but it actually looks like Mystery as well is also going for a proxy. He has a probe on the top left side of the map. Oh, and man, you have to wonder what both players are thinking right at this moment.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a down and dirty match, I think. Could see both players doing a lot of early damage to each other with these double proxies going on.
Yeah, and interestingly, Haas, he built the proxy pylon, and then he sent his probe straight away into Mystery's main base, so he's actually not going for any proxy tech, at least not quite yet. So this could be him building a pylon in the middle of the map, so Mystery will come into his base out and only see one pylon and suspect the proxy. Or it could be for something later like Dark Templar or maybe even a Warp Gate push.
Certainly,
really, anything's possible right now. But it does look like Mystery going 2 gate adept, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there's a Stargate.
Well, the 2 Stargate or the 2 gate adept here. With the wall-in up, I don't foresee this necessarily doing very much damage. See, he's even putting a pylon in his wall right now, which tells me that there's just not going to be any damage done by these adepts. But they might be able to lure things like Stalkers or the Mothership Core down there to deal with them, which could allow that Oracle to get in and do some critical damage.
Yeah, but Haas also going for a Stargate, and I'm really curious. He scouted that Mystery was still on one base with 2 gases, and I believe he only saw there was 1 pylon on the map, so he knows that there is some sort of aggression coming out of Mystery. I'm really expecting him to go Phoenix in this situation. It's not the kind of position where you would want to build an Oracle and go for harassment. This is more the situation where you would want to go for a Phoenix, I think, but I say that and he actually goes for the Oracle. No, canceling, going for the Phoenix.
Oh, looks like this adept going to be taken out in a matter of seconds. Mystery starting to put on some pressure here at this front pylon. And does he actually see that Stargate?
I don't believe he knows, but...
Oh yeah, just barely doesn't see it. Just sees a gateway warping in below it. So good work on him. But as you said, that is a Phoenix opening here by Haas, and that's going to be great against this Oracle.
Yeah, but the Phoenix moving on the map, I think he's actually trying to see right now exactly what it is that Mystery is going for, and I actually think he's looking for whatever the proxy tech is, because if this is like a proxy gateway 4-gate or even like a proxy robo with 3 gateways, it can be really hard to defend, but here comes the Oracle in the main base, there's no Phoenix.
Oh man, already some damage being done here by Mystery. This Oracle doing a pretty good job considering that this is a Phoenix opening. Already getting those 4 kills, gonna even get 3 more perhaps.
Yeah, running out of energy, but still gonna get 3 more. 7 probes going down, that's a really big deal.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 7 kills is absolutely enough. That's, you know, when you go Oracle and your opponent goes Phoenix, sometimes you only get 2 kills or so.
Yeah, you usually just want to trade it, but Mystery, even also seeing the Stargate out of Haas, he's throwing down the 2nd Stargate himself. We're going to see some Phoenix versus Phoenix.
Wow, indeed we are, but let's not forget one of his Stargates is actually out on the map, so if Haas finds that, that could make it hard for him to continually produce Phoenixes.
That's a very good point, but right now, looks like Mystery's actually 8 workers ahead just from the Oracle harassment, even though his expansion was so much later. He's actually taking an economic lead from that opening.
Well, right now we do actually have Haas flying in with these Phoenixes. He's going to have to get out of there. You know, that travel distance allowing Mystery to actually catch up in the Phoenix count for the time being. And I got to say, this is looking really nice for Mystery right now.
Yeah, it is looking really good for him. And Haas, after seeing those Phoenixes in the main base of Mystery, I still don't think he's found the Stargate, but he does know this is probably going to be Phoenix versus Phoenix. So right now he has to make the decision. And it looks like it is going to be a second Stargate. It seemed like he had 2 choices, whether he can go for Blink to try and deal with this, or just challenge the Phoenixes, and he's going to challenge. So we're going to see how this plays out.
Uh-oh, and it looks like Haas going to be caught here. 4 Phoenixes, just wrecks 3, and he already gets a single kill here. Oh, he does end up losing one, so nice micro there by Haas, but Haas loses another Phoenix, and in fact going to lose a 3rd here.
Yeah, and Mystery up by 3 Phoenixes now, and Haas' second Stargate isn't even complete, so in the Phoenix versus Phoenix war, Mystery's at a huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, when it's Phoenix versus Phoenix, if you guys have about the same amount, you can't go across the map with your Phoenixes very easily, or things like this can happen. So a little bit sloppy there by Haas, but does end up picking up another one as Mystery chases him home.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting position for Mystery, too, because he has that second Stargate proxied on the map, and even though it's still been unscouted, having that second Stargate, because he has a Phoenix advantage already, he can be rallying so quickly. Like you said, it's so hard to push across the map with Phoenixes because the travel distance, your opponent's probably going to have more by the time you get there, but not only having a superior Phoenix count, but also having a proxied Stargate, that's going to be really good for his harassment.
Certainly it is, but look at this. We actually have a bunch of Stalkers being warped in, but with this many Phoenixes, Mystery decides to try to mess with them, but of course does have to pull away.
Yeah, and this is a pylon without a warp gate, so it will be slow warping. So in the future, if Haas is pushing and Mystery decides to go with his Phoenix, he will be able to pick off any Stalkers that are warping in if Haas doesn't come with either a warp prism or build a gateway out there, which is going to make it a lot harder for Haas to break this, because it looks like he's going to go for a 2-base blink timing.
Yeah, it does look like it. And you know what? This is smart. He had to transition out of this. Unfortunately, he spent a lot on Phoenix. He spent a lot on 2 Stargates, and it absolutely didn't work out for him. So as you see, there's actually a big supply lead right now for Mystery. He's winning in the probe count, and he's winning drastically in the army count.
Yeah, and I think he suspects this out of Haas, too, because he just thrown on 2 robotic facilities, so he's going to be kind of boosting out a lot of Immortals.
Oh, that's actually a great play. To see this many Stalkers, you know your opponent's giving up on Phoenixes. So, truthfully, you don't actually have to keep making Phoenixes here. You can actually just shut down your Phoenix production, use what you already have for harassment, for pressuring your opponent, and go into that robotics tech.
Yeah, and Haas killing the Pylon on his main ramp. Probably going to be taking a 3rd base after scouting the 2 robos within his Oracle. And for Haas, this is such an awkward position to be in. His opponent has so many Phoenixes. Picking off probes like this is just going to be such a common part of this game. And knowing that he has 2 robotics facilities as well, like, if you're Haas, what do you go for in this position?
Oh man, it's pretty tough. I think that you might have to just take a 3rd base, realizing that the Phoenixes can't really attack you that well into an entrenched position. But how can you attack him? If you get behind at all, he'll just lift up all your units and you're going to lose them all.
Yeah, or even if he has enough Immortals to deal with the Blink Stalkers, he could just send the Phoenix across the map, and then your anti-air is at his base, and he's going to pick off all of your probes. So for Haas, this is going to be a really difficult position to actually break Mystery in the future.
Oh man, and look what Mystery finds, but actually doesn't react. Okay,
maybe he was thinking he already saw Haas's Stalkers in the 3rd base. Maybe he was too afraid of like a Blink coming in and Phoenix. He already has a really good advantage. Maybe he's just playing really conservatively, trying to hold on to that. Because right now, he is in no position where he needs to actually do damage. It's Haas that's on the back foot right now.
All right, well, looks like Haas going to go ahead and attack in with these Blink Stalkers for the time being. Coming up, lifting a lot of these Stalkers up. In the meantime, the Immortals coming in, dealing lots of damage to these Blink Stalkers. And as these drop out, a lot of damage will be dealt to him. He's going to have to try to blink away.
Yeah, Haas losing so many Stalkers now. Mystery with almost a 50 supply advantage, and his tech is so strong too.
And look, there's a lot of energy left on these Phoenixes as well. Definitely can lift up quite a few more Stalkers here, and he does, in fact, do so. Mystery coming in and dealing tons of damage to this army, and I don't think Haas is going to be able to hold on.
Yeah, and the Stalkers, even with Blink, the Phoenixes are so quick, they're not able to run away, and after that, Mystery has almost triple the army supply of Haas, and his army is so high-tech too. I don't know how Haas can possibly defend this.
Yeah, I mean, Photon Overcharge is pretty good, but I don't think it's this good. He's going to have a really hard time. Some nice pickoffs there on one Phoenix, dealing some more damage to another, but Haas backing up into his natural base, and this is a large army from Mystery.
Yeah, some feedback going down on the Phoenixes, but only a couple Zealots and only a couple Stalkers, and the Immortals are just going to town.
Well, he's morphing in a couple of Archons here. Let's see if those can actually finish in time to get anything done. I don't think so. This many Immortals dealing huge amounts of damage right now. Those Archons being picked off oh so quickly. The Pylons as well. And this is it. GG. Mystery from China takes game number 1.
And that was a really technical PvP the way Mystery played it. And I feel like Haas, if he didn't have the Phoenix out on the map, he would have been able to defend Oracle a little bit better. But Mystery with his tech choice going for the second Stargate, he was completely decisive. There was no indecision on his part. He knew straight away, as soon as he saw Haas's Phoenixes, he knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And Haas using his critical Phoenix count early in the game, just always from the Oracle to the losing a couple Phoenixes, from the very get-go, Mystery, who we were looking at as an underdog, was just completely on point.
Yeah, he played very well there, and I really think it all does come down, as you said, Haas was not very decisive. He waited a long time to add that same Stargate, and then still lost his Phoenixes across the map. If you see that your opponent has the same number of Phoenixes as you, assume you cannot attack him in Phoenix versus Phoenix, because if you're across the map, that travel time is going to allow him to have additional Phoenixes and beat you in that air battle, and that is something that at the pro level is almost impossible to come back from.
Yeah, Mystery doing a really good job holding on to the lead that he got in the early game. And I'm really curious, Mystery going for Proxy Stargate in game number 1. What's his plan for game number 2? Because we know that Haas is such an aggressive player. And Mystery, it seems like the way he wants to deal with Haas's style is to put the pressure back on him. So we're going to see if he chooses to do something similar in game number 2.
Well, it is going to be Preon Terraces, so a very interesting map. One big middle lane, but plenty of places you can proxy. See what these two are going to try to end up doing against each other here. This is the IESF 7th World Championship, and up here in the top left, our red Protoss from Taiwan, it is Haas.
Maybe a little bit tense now.
I mean, if he loses one more game, he is not going to win. All right, and his opponent in the bottom right from China, it is Mystery.
Both players going for a gateway opening again. Not too surprising on this map. On Dusk Towers, it's really common to go Nexus first, but neither player opting for that, and Preon Terrace is definitely a much harder map to hold a natural expansion on against early aggression.
Yeah,
there's no main ramp for you to just be able to choke on and defend against any adepts. So.
Yeah. So what do you think we're going to see here? Are they going to stay one base for a long time, try to put some pressure on?
It looks like Mystery is going straight away for 2 gateway adepts, most likely. And this actually looks really similar to the opening he did in game number 1. And yeah, his probe's actually, oh my god, Haas is taking
oh my god,
base.
he just went gate gas expand here for Haas.
Yeah, this is a really bold move, especially considering how aggressively Mystery played game number 1.
Yeah.
And it looks like Mystery's actually going to go for a proxy, and the positioning here, it doesn't actually seem like it's probably going to be a Stargate. It almost looks more like might be a Twilight Council or Dark Templar proxy.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. It doesn't make sense for any Robo to be over there. It doesn't make sense for Stargate to be over there. That definitely looks like it's Twilight Tech. So he could be going like Adept into Dark Templar. He could be going for just a hidden blink type of attack here as well. But no matter what he goes for, the fact that he's opening aggressively against a very fast Nexus at the gold base, how is Haas supposed to hold this? This is going to be a very wonky defense.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to defend in this position. It's not too impossible, because one of the main critical parts of defending in the early game, and it is going to be a Twilight Council, one of the critical parts of defending in the early game against Adepts, for example, is having your Mothership Core in position to overcharge pylons and prevent the Adepts from picking off probes. And actually on this map, the gold base it's right below the main base, and so if he were to patrol his Mothership Core between his main base and his third base, he's always going to have an overcharge at one of those middle lines, and so if he can hold on until the gold base begins to kick in, he's actually going to be in a really good position. So we're going to see how his defense actually plays out against these 2 Adepts.
All right, well, the Adepts are coming up across the map. Right now we do have Mystery following up with a Stalker, so that could point us towards Blink being the next choice out of this Twilight Council, but we'll see in a moment.
Taking some damage with an overcharge, and Haas actually walling in his main base. Really clever play.
Oh.
I'm actually really surprised Mystery let the Shades complete on that one.
Yeah,
he's going to lose both Adepts, I think. If he does
that's
another
really
overcharge,
brutal.
he might not even need it.
Did he kill anything with those first 2 Adepts?
No, but Haas did have to allow the pylon to finish, and that means if he's not going to kill the pylon, he can't transfer too many workers to his natural expansion or his gold base expansion too quickly.
Well, his gold base already has a very good amount of probes at it, so his economy just crushing Mysteries. But the next important part is, does Haas get detection? Because his Dark Shrine is halfway done.
And he's actually throwing down a Twilight Council right now. This is not the tech of choice that you want to get Dark Templar. But it's a really tough position. If he's going to throw down a Robo Facility sometime in the next couple minutes. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, that's
Mysteries.
Yeah, oh, God.
Oh.
This game might just end. Like, Haas is in deep, deep trouble right now. Of course, it takes a little bit longer to warp in these Dark Templars because there is no gateway or nexus next to that proxy pylon, but it doesn't really matter. Like, he just doesn't have any detection up. That gold base at least will fall.
Yeah, but if you think about it, he still has the pylon in his main base, and he's throwing on a Robo, but he's throwing it down in his third base now. I think this is definitely a mistake. That Robo is not going to complete, but this might not actually be a game-ending move if Haas is able to hold on, because yes, he's going to take a lot of damage at the third base, but that's a gold base. It's been mining so much, it's already paid for itself. If he can just stabilize and hold his main base, and he should see the Dark Templar now, he certainly does know.
Well, he is starting to run away from here. Those two Dark Templars going to work on the pylon, meaning that robotics is not going to build an observer. He's going to have to remake it in his main base here.
And it looks like he's actually going across the map with his Stalkers and his probes, and he is building a second Robo in his main base, but how is he going to defend the Dark Templar? I don't think he's actually going to get the Robo up in his main.
Well, he's trying to wall in here once again, trying to keep that Dark Templar out of there so he can actually get the observers going after this pylon right away. The probes going aggro here. He will be able to take down that first pylon very easily. And oh my god, is he going to be able to take down this next
He might
as
actually take down the expansion. Like, Mystery doesn't have enough. He's just now warping in a Dark Templar at home to defend, so his Stalkers can run away. I think he's actually going to get the Nexus, and I still don't see a Dark Templar. Mystery's like in no position to defend his natural expand.
This is really surprising, and what a great move by Haas to be able to counter and take down this Nexus, really evening this game up quite a bit. But how much more damage will these Dark Templars do to him?
Yeah, and the Robo is chrono boosting out the Observer now, so it looks like he actually will get that out. Really good defense with the Sentry Force Field and walling off behind that pylon in his main base. And while he did take a lot of damage, he's going to lose his gold base. Both players actually losing their expands to this.
Well, I mean, taking a look at it, we actually have a similar probe count and a similar army count here, so...
Yeah, the way it turned out is actually really surprising.
Yeah, I really didn't think it would quite go like this. I mean, I guess he'll actually end up saving this, but he already canceled the blink that was in it, so...
Well, he certainly needed that money to build the second robotics facility, but... this is such a... It's really hard to call this position. Like, who is ahead? It's really tough to say.
Yeah,
Mystery definitely has a tech advantage in terms of having the Robo, but has taken the gold base again. If he can hold on.
You know, I gotta say, I do like Mystery's position a little bit more here for sure. The Dark Templar tech, even though there's observers out, that doesn't make it useless. It's still a very useful unit. And I mean, he has that Twilight. I'd love to see him grab Blink from here.
Yeah, that'd be really good. And Haas, if you're thinking, Haas has to be thinking that it's going to be proxied on the main base, or somewhere outside of his main base on the map. And so if he can pick off the Twilight Council, that would be really, really big for him. And it looks like, yeah, he is going to be killing that pylon. And this is not a mistake. This is just him getting ready to transfer probes to his gold base and get that income boosted up really quickly.
Well, at least that will boost up his economy. He'll be able to catch up very quickly to the economy of Mystery here.
And he is starting blinking again. Both players actually going to have really similar blink timing, so there won't really be much of a window for either player. And it looks like Haas is actually taking up to Disruptors a little bit more quickly than Mystery is. And Mystery is he cutting probes? Is he going to go for a timing? Oh, he's building probes again.
Yeah, starts up some probes once again here. I'm not sure that he should go for a timing. Do you think that would be something that would really behoove him here? Could he finish him off?
It's really tough to say, and if you're already up one game, it's really tempting to go for the risk and just be like, if I make this move and it works out, I'm in the finals.
Yeah.
It's really tempting to go for that, but I think it's a better decision to actually play really conservatively in this position because, sure, Haas has a gold base, but the big perk of the gold base is it doesn't take a lot of workers to saturate it. The total income of a gold base actually is really similar to that of a fully saturated blue mineral base. And so, at the end of things, it's not going to be too much of a big deal, and if the game does go later, that third base is already going to be mined out. If Haas wants to take another expansion, he's going to have to take his natural, and then the fourth base is going to be so wide open. So I feel like, I don't know, I really like Mystery's position in either situation, if he goes for a push or if he decides to defend at home.
Yeah, well, he did get himself in a nice spot with those Dark Templars early on here. Continue to push forward, finds this Proxy Gateway pylon once again, and will be able to take that out,
Yeah,
of
and I
course.
almost feel like the pylon morphing in at the gateway is almost a fake out, like he wants to make Mystery think he's going to be really aggressive while he's taking another gold base. But this push out of Mystery, there's so much here.
Oh man, there's 5 Immortals in this push, which is just madness. How does he end up pulling that off? Like, normally you'd make a bunch of sentries against this, but I don't know if that's going to work out.
Yeah, Haas has 1 Disruptor. If he can get a big hit, Blink isn't finished. Oh, it does finish. He does dodge the Disruptor shot.
Oh, that Disruptor not being used right now. Has to wait for that cooldown. In the meantime, Mystery going to go ahead and start wrecking everything at this gold base. Even takes down that high energy Mothership core. Absolutely brutal for Haas.
Yeah, and Haas is now in really dire straits. Losing his gold base, the other base on the other side of the map, he's probably not going to get that to complete. Right now he has to defend, but I don't know how he's going to do it. He only has Blink Stalkers against an opponent with the Blink Stalkers and Immortals. 5 Immortals.
Well, he's going to have to get some really good Disruptor shots here.
Yeah, Disruptor shots killing 2 of the Immortals, but it looks like there's too much for Mystery right here.
Yeah, just way too much. In fact, he loses the Disruptors. That is so painful. Even loses that War Prism. And now with no expansion up, Haas is in a lot of trouble, but he is actually warping in a base at the other gold.
Yeah, and I really like the decision from Mystery. Not trying to push into the main base. He knows he has an economic edge. He knows he has an army edge. And oh, that's actually a Disruptor hit.
That is a huge hit right there. And in fact, these Immortals are getting really low.
And Mystery has to recall, and Haas took another gold base.
Yes, he did. I love it, man. Haas is actually holding on in all these really weird, hard positions. That was such an important Disruptor shot, and that shows you how volatile this matchup can be. He blinks forward to get that extra damage done, and Haas punishes him for it just terribly.
Yeah, that Blink forward, having Blink on cooldown against Disruptors is such a tough position because it's so hard to actually split your units because the Disruptor shot, it's so fast. Yeah. And it does so much damage. It just one-shots all those Stalkers, and it went from a position where it looked like Mystery couldn't possibly lose to 1 big Disruptor shot, and Haas is back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty crazy, but we do still have an advantage here for Mystery, right? He has the 3 bases. He has a gold base up in mining. He's about similar in army supply, but overall, his economy is just killing Haas's.
Yeah, his economy is so good. His one advantage right now is that he has 3 Disruptors out, and his opponent has none. But he's gonna have to somehow catch up on economy because Mystery's starting his own Disruptor production out now, and as soon as the armies have similar compositions, Mystery's just going to have so much more.
Well, right now, we're going to have to see what happens. Haas coming down the center of the map right now, waiting for those Disruptors a little bit. Just the Stalker's going to poke in for a moment. He wants him to blink forward, and he does. But he does turn around in time.
And those were 2 Disruptor shots, and the cooldown on those is not very short. You certainly can get maybe 1 or 2 down in a big fight, but Blink Stalker Disruptor versus any number of other Protoss units like Blink Stalkers, if you miss shots, you're in such a precarious position. Oh man, that was not a miss.
Yeah, that was quite a hit. He does blink forward and end up picking off that Disruptor as well, but a lot of Stalkers going down there. Disruptors showing just how powerful they are, but Mystery has his own Disruptors on the way to this army.
Yeah, but I think only 1 Disruptor coming across the map. Haas, if you can get 1 or 2 more really big hits, he's going to be in an excellent position. And there are 2 more shots going out, and he actually gets 1 Immortal and takes another one down to half hit points.
Oh, he does lose one of his Disruptors here. Disruptor coming up for Mystery. Mystery still definitely has a good chance here. A lot of Stalkers, 2 more than his opponent. And he is going to walk into this gold base. Oh man, Haas can't lose another base here.
He has to defend this position.
He has to. Steve. Well, he is coming up to try to do so. He blinks forward and trying to pick off these Immortals right off the bat, and it looks like he will end up picking both off.
And 2 more Disruptor shots going down, but Mystery blinks away. And Mystery also loses his Disruptor, but it looks like Haas might be able to defend.
Wow, what a crazy defense here by Haas. Still has a good probe count here on this gold base, so he is still in this game. Those Disruptor shots starting to come up, though. Oh, a big one from Mystery.
And it looks like Mystery he has a higher Stalker count now. If he can just evade these Disruptor shots and keep doing damage, it's going to be a good position, but this is such a close defense.
All right, let's see what Mystery can get done here. We do have Haas coming up with these Disruptors. Can he get the big shots? And it looks like, oh god, that blink forward really doing a lot of damage from Mystery.
Such a smart blink forward. He saw both Disruptor shots going for his Stalkers, and as soon as the Disruptor shots went too far forward, Mystery blinked on top of the Protoss army, and he did so much damage there, evading the shots and also doing a critical blink that allowed him to do so much more damage.
Haas is looking like he's in a lot of trouble now. He's down to just 20 probes. He's losing this gold base, which is just he can't keep losing bases. His mining is down to almost nothing.
Yeah, he's below half supply. I don't know if he's going to be able to defend, and Mystery at the same time, he's taking a 4th base. Even if this push doesn't end the game, he's going to be in such a good position.
Oh, basically, we need to see from Haas the disruptor shots of a lifetime. He absolutely has to hit his opponent's disruptors and some stalkers here to be able to hold on.
And that's
but
a really
maybe
good
he'll be able
shot.
to do that. He does end up getting a disruptor, but a blink forward, and that is it. GG. Mystery going to be going to the finals of IESF.
Yeah, Mystery with 2 really aggressive and very different openings, both trying to pick Haas apart and really putting Haas on the back foot from the get-go.
Yeah.
And he just never gave up his lead in either of his games.
Really, really well done. Haas having a little bit of a hard time there. He had some great comeback moments, though. Let's not forget. You know, he really went kind of ham with those probes and stalkers, being able to kill the natural Mystery, bring himself back into it, hitting some really clutch disruptor shots to allow himself to remain in the game despite being far behind after all of that early game. Haas had some good plays, but just not enough to keep up with Mystery here.
Yeah, and Mystery, who we consider an underdog, actually comes away with a pretty convincing 2-0 win. It seemed like he was in complete control from the beginning to the end of every single game played.
Yeah.
And Haas definitely had really good moments with his control, but it just seemed like Mystery was a step ahead of him. Like, I don't know whether he knew his style too well or he was better prepared for the match, but Mystery just played so well, and it will be Mystery and Seoul in the finals.
All right, well, Mystery versus Seoul, that's going to be really a nice match. We'll have that one tomorrow, of course, but Haas will have a chance to redeem himself later on today. We're going to have that 3rd place match, and it should be Haas against Ender.
And that's going to be a really exciting match.
That's going to be really aggressive. These guys are both very aggressive players.
Yeah, and PVZ is a really fun matchup right now. If you watch the DreamHack finals, just what was that, a week ago with Parting and Solar? Those were some incredible games, and Haas and Ender, too, another really good Protoss player and a really good Zerg player, so going to be really exciting matches.
Yeah, I'm really quite looking forward to that. Who do you think will end up winning that?
Honestly, I feel like Haas might have the edge there.
Okay. You know, Ender has been doing a lot of upsets. I wouldn't be too surprised if he somehow squeezes this out.
I'm not saying that I'm going to count Ender out, but even though it feels like Haas was a little bit rocky in this series against Mystery, I just the style that he plays, typically, just not across all matchups, I feel like in Legacy of the Void currently, it's a really good kind of play style in terms of where PVZ is at.
All right, well, we'll see that 3rd place match a little bit later today. So right now we're going to go ahead, jump to a quick little commercial break, and when we come back, I believe we have some Hearthstone action for you, so don't go away.